Hello and welcome to Roadcraft, the place for anyone who wants to be a smarter, better, and safer driver. In this episode, almost all of us wear seatbelts, so why do we have so many traffic fatalities with unbuckled vehicle occupants? Here we go. You don't have to be a gambler to know that if you're doing something with an unknown outcome, you want the odds in your favor. When it comes to seatbelts, most people in Washington have that figured out. 94% of us wear a seatbelt. We know that because every year a team of people go out and count. And that's just what it sounds like. Observers with tablets standing on the side of the road and marking how many people wear their seatbelt at 375 locations around the state. It's been consistently above 90% for over 20 years. Here's the thing. Last year, 40% of vehicle occupant fatalities were people who weren't wearing a seatbelt. We know that because at every crash, the collision investigators keep track. So we have 6% of people, the non-seatbelt wearers, making up 40% of vehicle occupant fatalities. If my math is right, you're about 7 times more likely to die in a car crash if you're not wearing a seatbelt. That's bad odds. And many of the people who don't wear a seatbelt are also taking other risks. There's a big overlap between speeding drivers, impaired drivers, and unbuckled drivers. You'd think if you're a habitual speeder, you'd want that seatbelt on. The faster you drive, the more severe the consequences in a crash. There's even a formula for it. For every 1% increase in speed, there's a 4% increase in traffic fatalities. So speaking to the 6% of people who don't buckle up, I can't make you wear your seatbelt, but I can let you know the odds you're betting against. And to the 94%, you're probably already doing this, but just in case, if you're riding with someone who's not wearing their seatbelt, offer a gentle reminder. Nothing too heavy-handed, just something like, strap in, Captain, or buckle up, Buttercup. Or let's play a game called Everybody Lives. First step is putting on your seatbelt. If you don't love the other people in the car enough to remind them, at least do it for yourself. Last year, Harborview Injury Prevention and Research Center released a study that shows that the risk of death in a crash is about 20% greater for a buckled person if someone else in the car is unrestrained. The lead researcher for the study said an unbelted occupant can become a missile that can strike and kill another person in the car. Grim to think about, I know. So let's take this in a more positive direction. Seatbelts are the greatest safety invention in the history of the automobile. Since 1968, they've saved over 500,000 lives in the US. Now, okay, I used a lot of data today, and this isn't supposed to be a number fest for traffic nerds, but the data tell a story, and that story is the best way to improve your odds of surviving a crash is to wear a seatbelt. So I'll wrap up here by saying, buckle up, Buttercup.